presented by the 2015 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Welcome to Rogers Center. It is Junior Jays Saturdays. A lot of youngsters in attendance. Outside, there was a lot of activities for the kids. It is a summer day for sure. 26 degrees. It feels like 34 with the humidex. A lot of fans have shown up. It's going to be another great day for baseball here in the Rogers Center. The roof is wide open, and why not? It's a gorgeous afternoon. The Blue Jays won last night 6-2. Beat the Rays in game one of this three-game series to even their records to 46-46. Take a look at the lineup for Tampa Bay. John Jaso back at the top of the order. Joey Butler gets to starting left field. Evan Longoria has hit well against the Jays starter today. R.A. Dickey, he's 10 for 37. 6 extra base hits, including 2 home runs, and he's driven in 8. And how about Tim Beckham, just back up from the minor leagues with the injury to Asdrubal Cabrera, the shortstop, and he has hit well against the Blue Jays this season.
That's the matchup that they wanted. They wanted to put Beckham in there at shortstop with Cabrera on the disabled list. They will face R.A. Dickey. He will get ready for his 19th start of the season, and he's had his troubles this season with the Tampa Bay Rays. He has lost all 3 times that he has pitched against the Rays, 3 times all in 2015. 5 of the 7 decisions dating back to 2014, R.A. has lost. He has pitched well against him. He just doesn't have much to show for it. A lot like his last start. He was matched up against Jeff Smarja. Pitched well, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, but still picked up his 10th loss of the season.
Defensively, the Blue Jays have to play tight defense behind R.A. Dickey, and that has been a problem. They've allowed 35 unearned runs this season. The outfield sets up like this afternoon. It's Carrera, Pilar, and Bautista from left to right. On the infield, Josh Donaldson has been terrific defensively at third. Reyes is in short. Travis made a fine defensive play last night, snaring a line drive off the bat of David DeJesus. Justin Smoke back at first. And Russell Martin catches R.A. Dickey for the 12th time this season.
And Justin Smoke had a big game in yesterday's ball game. He's made 32 starts at first base, and the Blue Jays record is 19-14 when he starts at first base. That's a .574 winning percentage. Contributed a big 3-run home run in last night's game. He's back out there this afternoon at first.
Won't get a double to go with that 3-run home run. R.A. Dickey is set. John Jaso, the DH, will lead things off. He is in the box, and here is the first pitch of the ball game. It is inside for a ball, and we are underway. Jaso, for the season, just a .385 average. He didn't have many at bats. He's been on the disabled list. There's ball 2. Jaso with just 26 at bats coming into this game. Was 1 for 4 in last night's game. There's a strike.
One of the things that R.A. did in his last start against Chicago, he threw more fastballs. I think it really took the White Sox by surprise how many fastballs he used. He used it early in the count, middle, at times he used it at the end.
There's a ground ball to Smoke. It'll be an easy play for the big first baseman. 1 down.
You know, and you do that, you start mixing it up like that, you don't fall into a pattern. I think that's why he pitched so well against the White Sox.
No matter what kind of pitcher you are, if you fall into a pattern and they know that you're going to try to throw a slower knuckleball and they can time it up, that little mix of the fastball is very effective. This is Joey Butler. He did not play in last night's game. He's having a good season with the Rays. .287 for the year.
He could really hit. He's got that patented opposite field type of swing. You see a .287 with some power. He's got some tremendous power to right center.
There's a fastball for a strike. 1-1. That's popped. That's going to reach the seats outside of first. Dickey, this year, as Pat mentioned, 0-3 against the Rays, a .611 earned run average. He's allowed 20 hits to Tampa Bay in 17 2/3 innings. But the biggest concern is the fact he's walked 9 and struck out just 8.
The Tampa Bay Rays have shown a lot of patience against R.A. Remember last season when they faced R.A., it seemed like their game plan was to go up there swinging away, be very aggressive. They did not have success against R.A. This year, very patient, making him get that knuckleball over.
Knuckleball pulled outside of third. Charlie Montoya, the third base coach.
And then you see a lot of these types of at-bats right here. A lot of foul balls, a lot of deep counts. Waiting for one pitch to get over that they can hit.
Martin had a piece of it, thought he had it for a moment, but it's fouled off of his glove, and Butler stays alive. We mentioned Martin's catching Dickey for the 12th time this season. And Russell, he has battled it. He's got 16 pass balls. And he has a lot of pride in his defense, and you know that there's an extra bit of pressure on him when he has to catch R.A. Dickey. He just wants to make sure he does the best he can with that knuckler. Having caught a knuckleball in the past, I can tell you that every pitch is tension-filled. You just don't know where that pitch is going to go, and you never have a chance to relax and sit back on your haunches and enjoy the game.
And let the ball come to you. It's almost like catching a 7th game of the World Series on every pitch.
This is lifted in the air into shallow right. Smoke out. They don't see it. Bautista. Oh, what a play. Smoke and Travis didn't see it. They were looking up into the sun, and Jose Bautista saved their bacon. Oh, what a good job by Bautista on a bright sunny day. You just can't give up on anything in the air.
You can't. You're right. Both Smoke and Travis had no idea where that ball was. It went up into the sun, up into the sky, and they were battling it all the way. Bautista doesn't give up on it at all. He sees it. He comes from the side, and he lays out. That was going to be a fair ball, 2, maybe even 3. But you can see how Smoke and Travis had no idea where that ball was.
Bautista hasn't had his typical year defensively because of his shoulder problems, but there aren't many better than him in right. Longoria goes after the first pitch, and it goes right through the wickets of Reyes. That's short. For Reyes, that'll be his 11th error of the season as Longoria reaches with 2 outs. That's the aspect of defense we had talked about. The Blue Jays have been charged with 35 unearned runs this season.
You know, and when you don't have a staff that strikes out a lot of people, and the Blue Jays don't have a staff that just blows by people, you can't make up for that. It's tough. One more time, the good, as Travis has no idea where that ball is, and Jose makes the catch. That's the good. And then the bad, the error by Reyes to keep the inning alive.
And you see Bautista moving his outfielders over toward right. He is truly the captain of this defense in the outfield. And he was bringing both Pilar and Carrera over toward him in right with Loney batting. James Loney, the first baseman. He drives this ball to left. Carrera backs up. Bautista put him in perfect position to make that play. So the air doesn't cost R.A. Dickey. The Blue Jays are through it. Bautista with good defense in right. First, the Rays leave a man aboard with the Reyes error. The offense has been terrific. They put up 6 runs again last night and had a multi-home run game again. 2 home runs in a 5-run 5th inning. Take a look at the order for John Gibbons. Reyes at the top of the order. Josh Donaldson batting second. He's got good numbers against the Rays starter, Erasmo Ramirez. 6 for 17 with a home run and 6 RBIs for the Blue Jays third baseman. And then Devin Travis. Boy, he has really picked it up right where he left off before he was injured in Cleveland. 6-game hit streak. 10 for 23, and he's scored 5 runs hitting in that 9th spot. That's a big stat, turning that lineup over.
What a threat at the bottom of that lineup. Erasmo Ramirez will take the mound this afternoon for the Tampa Bay Rays. He comes in here on a tremendous roll. 8-2 with a .210 earned run average over his last 11 starts. That's the most wins in the American League over that span. He has allowed 2 or fewer runs in his past 8 starts. Against the Blue Jays, not so fortunate. 1-1 with an ERA approaching 7 in 5 games versus Toronto.
He made his start here on the 15th of April, and he was charged with 9 runs, 8 earned runs against the Blue Jays. But it has been a much better pace for him since. Jose Reyes is 2 for 7 against Erasmo Ramirez. 281 on the season for Reyes. When Reyes gets on base, the Blue Jays click. Last night in that 5-run inning, he had a big sacrifice bunt to really kind of jumpstart that inning. Set up the 2-run home run for Josh Donaldson, and later on, Justin Smoak would hit a 3-run shot. Three and 1 to Reyes. There's a fly ball to right. Brandon Guyer has played all 3 outfield positions. He makes the catch. Reyes is retired. Well, the Rays, one of the best defensive clubs in all of baseball. They've committed just 4 errors in the outfield, and they can go get them. Joey Butler, Kevin Kiermaier, and Brandon Guyer from left to right. The Gold Glovers at third base, Evan Longoria. Tim Beckham filling in for the injured Asdrubal Cabrera at short. Logan Forsythe and James Loney on the right side. And the catcher today is Kurt Casale, making his 12th start.
And over at first base, he's one of the best gloves in the American League at first base. He had 152 games last year and only committed 9 errors. He's had a couple of stints on the disabled list this year for James Loney. After never been on the DL from 2006 to 2014, he's missed 51 games this year, and he's only committed 1 error.
Off-speed pitch, and Longoria backhands it and bounces it and makes an error. And Donaldson will go to second base, and Longoria made a careless error. That's just his 3rd error of the season. And it looked like he was in between trying to bounce it on the turf and lob it over to James Loney, and it cost him.
Yeah, he had plenty of time because the ball got to him so quickly at third base. Watch him take his time. And I'm with you. I don't know if that ball took off on him or it cut on him, but he had plenty of time. It gets to him on 2 hops. He makes a nice play, takes his time, but then throws it away.
That is his 6th error of the season, and you can see he is very disappointed. You can't allow the Blue Jays extra outs. We had mentioned the Blue Jays have allowed 35 unearned runs. The Rays have allowed just 18. Their defense hasn't hurt them much.
It's been great, and it's always been one of the best defenses in the American League. That time, just a little careless throw over to first base. And this is where the Blue Jays really take advantage of it. It's almost like they smell blood in the water when the opposition is walking players, or they're giving them extra outs when they're making errors like that.
Bautista waves at that off-speed pitch. It's 1-2. Well, think about the mindset of the pitcher. He gets the dangerous Josh Donaldson to hit a weak ground ball to third, and he's thinking he's got 2 outs. After the air, he's got a man in scoring position and Bautista at the plate.
And now he's got to really bear down.
And Bautista strikes out. Big strikeout for Ramirez as he picks up Longoria for the time being.
He has been a very good pitcher, a much different pitcher than one we saw back in April when he got lit up here. Erasmo Ramirez moving that fastball around. His changeup has been a lot better. It's been incorporated a little bit more by Jim Hickey, the pitching coach. That time he blew a fastball by Bautista.
Edwin Encarnacion. He goes after the first pitch and pops it straight back. Edwin was 1 for 3 with a double in last night's game. He scored a run and walked.
I thought the hit he had last night, the double to right center field, was probably his best swing in a couple of weeks because the ball was away from him. He didn't try and pull it. He stayed over that ball, stayed on top of it, and drove it into right center field. Would have been an RBI double if not for the great play by Kiermaier in center field to cut that ball off. But his swing, Buck, was a lot better staying over the ball.
Kiermaier got the ball back in very quickly, so it was second and third, and that set up Justin Smoak with his 3-run home run. 241 for the season for Encarnacion with runners in scoring position. Boy, Blue Jays, they let Jake Odorizzi off the hook in the first inning in last night's game. A couple of walks to start the game, and they couldn't cash in. It's one thing about this Rays team. They have a lot of confidence in their pitching. And even when Odorizzi walked Chu to start the game, he bared down and was able to strike out Bautista, get Encarnacion the fly out, and smoke the ground out.
Or if the team makes an error behind him, they have that ability to pick him up and make a play behind him.
Former Blue Jay Kevin Cash in his first year as the manager of the Rays. 1-2. Popped up. Shallow center. Sun is a problem. Kiermaier, the center fielder, coming in. He's got the glasses on and makes the catch. And again, the error doesn't prove costly. We've played an inning. It's a scoreless game, and both clubs have made an error already.
Presented by the 2015 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful day on the shores of Lake Ontario. We're just a couple of blocks away from the lake here at Rogers Center. A lot of people out on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Game 2 of a 3-game series. R.A. Dickey matched up against the Tampa Bay Rays. Erasmo Ramirez, he pitched out of a jam created by a Longoria error. So it'll be Logan Forsythe, the second baseman, to lead things on. Fastball to get ahead of Forsythe. There's a good knuckleball off the outside corner.
You know, that was the formula that was so successful for R.A. when he was pitching in the National League. First pitch, fastball, strike 1. Knuckleball, strike 2. And then when he got the 2 strikes, he would reach back for a little something extra on the knuckleball and get a strikeout. Rode that all the way to the Cy Young Award.
2012, he also led the National League in strikeouts, and that's been a puzzling situation for him this season. The strikeouts haven't been there. Off the plate, it's 2-2. Well, just like the rest of the starters in the rotation, Blue Jays need Dickey to have a good second half. That is off of Dickey, and Travis was headed up the middle, and the ball deflected by the pitcher, and it'll end up as a base hit for Logan Forsythe. Of course, Dickey is a Gold Glove fielder. He won the Gold Glove in 2013, but he can't get a glove on this one.
Yeah, 2 strikes and then lost him on that ball up the middle. Looked like it was ricocheted off the glove of R.A. We've seen him make those type of plays before. He is so good at getting himself into a good fielding position once he lets go of the baseball.
Brandon Guyer in the lineup today in right field. He's had a couple of hits against Dickey. Forsythe will run a bit. He's only been caught twice in 9 attempts. Guyer can handle the bat, so they can play hit and run.
Choking up a little bit more on that bat with a runner at first base than I remember Brandon Guyer. Maybe thinking about hitting the ball the other way.
Pops this one up over near the Rays dugout, and that'll be back out of play. Well, the Rays, they can't sit back and slug with the Blue Jays. They just don't have that type of lineup. They've hit 79 home runs compared to the Blue Jays 117. So don't be surprised if they start to run. Kevin Cash knows the personality of his ball club, and they've got to be aggressive.
What they do, and they've got pretty decent speed, and they've always had pretty decent speed. They've got a couple of guys in that lineup that can run. They can manufacture runs also.
Tampa Bay is second in the American League in stolen bases to Houston. And when you think about it, they're kind of like a 60s big league ball club. They pitch well, they play good defense, and they run the bases. They don't slug. And they will take you down into the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning and play you in a close ball game.
They also have a pretty deep bullpen that helps them win a lot of ball games. I'm going to say 60s National League teams, right? That's
Dodgers, yeah.
Cardinals. Cardinals.
And they take pride in the way they play. Grady Sizemore was signed after he was let go by Philadelphia. He fits right into the mold. Evan Longoria, of course, the Gold Glover at third. Guyer gets a piece of it and stays alive.
Well, the money part of it that prohibits them from really going out there and getting and signing or keeping some big name free agents. They just can't afford to do that. But it's the same thing. The Blue Jays in Tampa Bay, they're built differently. They do different things, but everything seems to wind up at the same type of record.
They're both at 46 and 46, 500. They're tied for second place in the AL East. Guyer strikes out Dickey with his first strikeout of the afternoon.
A good hard knuckleball that time to get Brandon Guyer. Put him away. You can see him digging those fingernails right in that baseball. And Guyer comes up empty. That last note that we just showed up there is really interesting on how the teams arrived at their 500 record. Blue Jays doing it with offense and a lot of hitting, a lot of power, and Tampa Bay doing it with more pitching and defense.
The Rays average 3.6 runs per game, while the Blue Jays are the tops in the big leagues at 5.3. But both teams have a 500 record. Now, if you had the possibility of marrying the two teams, you'd have quite a ball club.
You'd have the best team in baseball, wouldn't you?
Great pitching and a potent offense.
That's why I think the American League East is wide open, because there is no perfect team. There isn't a team that has everything. A deep bullpen, a deep starting rotation, great defense, hitting, power, the whole thing. I think the closest team that comes to that might be the team the Blue Jays just faced, the Kansas City Royals. Although they don't have the great starting pitching. Not like this team, not like Tampa.
Not yet, they don't. Ball and a strike. There goes the runner. Cut on and missed. Here's the throw to second, and it's a good one. Russell Martin throws a strike to second base to gun down Logan Forsythe for just the third time this season. Martin has thrown well all season long.
Well, he's so quick behind home plate. And when he gets the ball, his feet get in position so quickly to allow him to make a strong and accurate throw. This time right on the bag, and they get Forsythe just the third time he has been thrown out as the tag is applied by Reyes. But Russell, 36% thrown out base runners. That's going to go up after that play.
1-2 to Kiermaier. He reaches for it and stays alive. The interesting thing about that Martin throw was the fact that he started out with a knee on the dirt. Watch how he has his knee down there, but he's so athletic and quick, he gets to his feet and throws a strike to Reyes. There's been a lot of critics that say, how can Martin catch the knuckleball with a knee on the ground when there's a runner at first? And he just answered those critics.
Well, it almost puts him in position to throw. You saw how he came up and just planted that right foot. See how he's got it planted in the dirt right now? All he has to do is stand up. He's already got that foot anchored.
He's been a great acquisition for the Blue Jays. We talk about first-year Blue Jays having an impact on this organization, and Russell Martin's right there. 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball. You better hurry. Travis has to throw quickly. In time, he gets it. Good defense by Devin Travis. Nice throw by Russell Martin. The defense sharp early in this ball game. Justin Smoak had a big game last night, including a 3-run home run. His ninth. Russell Martin trying to get it going with the bat. And then Kevin Pillar, he's had quite a run.
And you can join us again if you couldn't make it out this time, August the 1st, and the Blue Jays host the Royals at 1:07. Lots to do outside the ballpark, and as you can see, you can even get a caricature done. Kids, there's also a chance to run the bases just like the pros if you are 14 and under, and that goes after the ball game. Buck, has anyone ever done a caricature of you?
No, I don't think so. Well, maybe so.
I'd love to see one.
Oh, I don't know. There was the big black mustache days, I think. Long time ago, Barry. Justin Smoak will lead things off and goes after that first pitch against his former teammate Erasmo Ramirez. They were together 3 years in Seattle. Smoak, originally drafted by the Texas Rangers, was traded to Seattle.
He was part of that Cliff Lee deal, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He was a big part of it. First round pick of the Texas Rangers, switch hitting, power hitting first baseman, and he had a couple good years in Seattle, but never really lived up to the potential. And here he strikes out. The breaking ball gets That's the second strikeout for Ramirez.
Well, Erasmo Ramirez has thrown a lot more breaking balls. He's got one of the highest whiff percentages on the off-speed pitch this season. There's the curveball in a good spot. Changes speeds with that one and gets Justin Smoke to swing right over the top of it.
Ramirez has really done a great job since moving into the starting rotation. They put him into the rotation to stay on May 14th, and since then has responded with an 8-2 record.
Remember when they got him right at the end of spring training? What are we going to do with him? We're going to pitch him out of the bullpen, or we need him in the starting rotation. He's done a little bit of everything for Tampa Bay, but he's really solidified himself in that rotation.
Ball in the strike. Russell Martin swings and misses. Well, Ramirez, he came over, worked out of the bullpen, and then they decided to spot starting. The Blue Jays roughed him up, and it looked like he wouldn't last long in the rotation. But then Jim Hickey went to work. The pitching coach did his thing. Ground ball. That's a foul ball outside of third.
Yeah, his first two starts, one was against Miami, the other one against the Blue Jays. He gave up 15 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings, and then they went to work, start using the breaking ball just a little bit more, polishing up his changeup.
Tapper up the third base line. Ramirez backhands it, and Russell Martin may have injured himself. Came out of the batter's box and kind of limped all the way up the first base line. He is a little gimpy right now, making his way back to the Blue Jays dugout. Little tapper off to the third base side of the mound, and Ramirez makes a nice play on it. You can see Martin slipped, and then he felt something about a third of the way up the line.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a leg or what, but he's going to get looked at.
He's wise enough and experienced enough not to force it. And you can see he's a little bit upset. Not sure what the concern was, but he had something going on with his lower body. George Poulos, the head trainer, over to check on Russell. Pilar gets jammed and grounds out to second base. Good play by Logan Forsythe. Good inning for Erasmo Ramirez. The Blue Jays down in order in their half of the second.
MLB Live Tracker. Great play-by-play updates, batter hit zone charts, and real-time win percentage. Get MLB Live Tracker by clicking on any game matchup on the sportsnet.ca/MLB Live Tracker. It is also available through the Sportsnet app. A great way to follow your favorite game. Buck?
Sure is a great way to follow games, Barry, and you get a chance to see how teams are setting up their defense, where the hitters hit the ball, what their hot zones are. Everything you want to know about a ball player right there on MLB Tracker. Nice day to be out in the old kayak on Lake Ontario, or a great day to be at the ballpark. Scoreless game, we move to the third. It'll be Tim Beckham, the shortstop. Dickey misses with that first knuckleball inside off the plate. Beckham was a first overall pick of the Rays when he was drafted, and took him a while to develop as a natural shortstop. Really kind of along the lines of B.J. Upton when he first joined. They really weren't sure where they were going to play him.
B.J. was a shortstop, wasn't he?
Yes.
They moved him to second base and then eventually out into the outfield, where his hitting started to catch up. Beckham took some time, but he is a tremendous athlete, and he'll get a chance now.
25 years old. And he takes ball 4. A leadoff walk. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. For Cano, that's just his 7th home run of the season. He has just 32 RBIs. They have really been waiting on him to get hot with the bat. Hisashi Iwakuma is the starter for Seattle. The Blue Jays, of course, will see the Seattle Mariners on their upcoming road trip. Second half of that road trip to Oakland and Seattle. This is Curt Casale, the catcher. Casale making his 12th start behind the plate for the Rays. He rips it foul up the left field line. Casale is now 26 years old. He has bounced around in the minor leagues. He was selected by the Tigers originally, but acquired by the Rays in exchange for Kyle Lobstein, left-handed pitcher. This is just his 14th game overall.
Took a long look down at Charlie Montoya, the third base coach. And R.A. Dickey saw the same thing.
Yeah, he picked up on that. Dickey sure did see that long look to the third base coach, and he checks in on Tim Beckham. Beckham is 3 for 4 in stolen bases. Got some speed.
They might have had something on. They might have now just taken it off because Montoya got the attention of that runner at first base.
Got him that time. Beckham says no, and Rocco Baldelli, the first base coach, motions to the dugout to check it on replay.
You know, you could just sense that something was up. Montoya, the third base coach, got his attention and put something back on or took something off. Dickey thought something was up and so fires over to first base, and he is called out. You can see the dive, the step in the dive, and a long look by the first base umpire. That's Ben May, punches him out.
We had a review on a similar play in last night's game with Logan Forsythe at first base. Smoke had swipe tagged Forsythe diving back into first and asked for the review, and the Blue Jays lost that one. So now they're going to take a look at the video review. Ben May, the umpire, at first made the call, and the crew chief, Jeff Nelson, comes all the way over from third base to put the headset on.
One more time, as a runner, you want to go back to that back corner to make the tag. You have to go a little bit further, but with Justin Smoke being a left-handed throwing first baseman, that glove, all he has to do is just drop it right down to that corner. And from that angle right there, it looks like the umpire had it right.
And Jeff Nelson indicates safe. So they have overturned the call at first, and Beckham still aboard at first.
How about that? that there was enough evidence that showed that he was back on the bag.
Now Dickey will get a couple of opportunities to throw here after that review, and he says he's set. 2 balls and a strike to Casale. Call the balk on Dickey. How about that? Jeff Nelson, the third base umpire, called Dickey for no stop.
He was the same umpire in last night's game that called Jake Odorizzi for a balk where he didn't stop. Just bounced right up. And now instead of that runner out, you can see right here, did he stop? That's close.
That alarm you hear in the background is a fire alarm here at Rogers Center, and I'm sure they're checking into that. Two balls and 2 strikes to Kurt Casale. Nobody out. Beckham now at second. He walked and then was pushed to second on the Dickey balk. Ground ball. Smoke makes a nice play. He'll go to the bag. Casale does a good job. The number 9 hitter moves the runner from second to third. Beckham's now at third base with 1 out.
That's what the Tampa Bay Rays, they have to do to manufacture runs like that. You get a leadoff walk, you balk them over to second base, you hit a ground ball to the right side, move them up. And now the infield has to come in with just 1 out.
So now the infield plays it in against John Jaso. Little flare, that's going to drop over Donaldson, but it's foul. Donaldson, if he is back in his normal position, makes that play easily, but with the runner at third in a scoreless ball game, he was in to guard against that little chopper.
Yeah, if he is at his normal position, he's going to wait for that ball to come down. But because he's in, he can't make that play. We'll keep our eye on Beckham to see if he's going to hint on what they're going to try and do here. He's getting a very aggressive lead at third base, like they're going to try and steal a run here.
Well, the Rays have been notorious in their ability of that safety squeeze, but how difficult would it be against a knuckleballer? That's the challenge. Safety squeeze is one where the runner doesn't break until the ball is safely bunted on the ground.
He sees it on the ground, and then he can score once it is on the ground. Watching Beckham at third base, you normally want to take your lead in foul territory. He's right on top of that line, suggesting they might try that contact play.
It's another foul ball, this time up the first base line. Full count, 1 out. Scoreless game. We're in the top of the third. Joey Butler is on deck. Another foul as Jaso fights off that inside pitch.
And he is breaking at third base on the ball on the ground, so infielders have to be aware of that. There's been plenty of pitches to let them know what they're going to be doing at third base.
There's a deep drive to right. Bautista is back. It is over his head and over the wall for a ground rule double. Tim Beckham jogs in with the first run of the ball game, and John Jaso drives in his 4th run with a ground rule double over the wall in right.
Just waiting for a pitch that was up that he can get into the outfield, and he finally got a knuckleball that was up. Jaso at the top of the batting order with his great on-base percentage gets a knuckleball. You can see that one about belt high right over the middle of the plate. And he hits it hard, looking for something down that the Blue Jays can get a ground ball on. But the ball's up and it's out of play.
Joey Butler was retired on a fine sliding catch by Jose Bautista in the first. It was a pop-up that both Smoke and Devin Travis never saw because of the sun. But Bautista slid and made a fine catch to retire Butler. Tim Beckham with the walk. He moved to second on the balk. Ground ball got him to third, and then the ground rule double cashes him in. That is what you call a Rays rally.
The leadoff walk.
Yep.
That's tough to the number 8 hitter. I'm going to make him swing the bat. He's hitting .213, so that really hurt, the leadoff walk.
1-2 to Joey Butler. Fouled off Martin's glove. Well, that's the one thing we mentioned about R.A. Dickey this year pitching against the Rays. The walks have been a problem. That's the 10th walk he's issued in 4 starts.
Showing a lot of patience against him. They've, again, beaten him 3 times this year.
Snap throw to second as Jaso dives in ahead of the tag. Butler strikes out. Pitch upstairs. 2 down.
Save during the plumbing, cooling, and electrical expert sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Evan Longoria steps in with 2 outs and a man in scoring position. Longoria reached on the air by Reyes in the first, but he was stranded as Loney flied out to end the inning. Ball and strike to the Rays third baseman. Sometimes you get fooled by the numbers. When you look at Longoria's numbers with runners in scoring position, he's hitting .239. He said, man, he must be a bad hitter. Well, in this lineup, he's not going to get much to hit. He got a base open, and he has such a track record. No reason to give in to Evan Longoria.
And that's why James Loney is so important. Derek Shelton was telling you and I the last time we were in Tampa Bay how important Loney means to this team, hitting behind Evan Longoria, because if you choose not to pitch Longoria, there's a guy behind there who is around a .300 hitter year in and year out. He's got great line drive potential.
All right, Dickey boy, he reached back for a little extra and strikes out Butler and Longoria to leave Jaso at second. But Tampa Bay has taken a 1-0 lead. Of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership. Well, the Blue Jays are trying to win back-to-back games for the first time since June 24th and 26th. They won last night 6-2. They currently trail 1-0 as they bat in the bottom of the third. But that's hard to imagine. They haven't won back-to-back games since late June. Ezequiel Carrera gets the start in left field today. He came in defensively into last night's game in the 6th, taking over for Chris Colabello. A bit of a rough stretch for Carrera, 2 for his last 22 over 12 games. That reflects inconsistent at bats. That's the role of an extra man. He bunts it, but bunts it foul.
Yeah, you don't get the consistent at bats that you need. But I'll tell you what, when John Gibbons has put him in the lineup, Carrera has delivered. Doesn't have that many at bats this year, just 122, but he's driven in 17 runs.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The Blue Jays, they're in tough against Erasmo Ramirez. He has allowed 1 run or fewer 9 times this season as a starter. Is one behind the American League leaders in that category, Chris Archer and Felix Hernandez. They have 10 such starts, and they have both made 6 more starts than Erasmo Ramirez. Off-speed pitch, hit on the ground. Loney will step on the bag. 1 down.
Now batting second base, number 9, Devin Travis.
As you can hear, it's Junior Jay's Saturday. It's all presented by Boston Pizza. Each Saturday, Junior Jay gets to introduce the players. Just one of the many fun activities taking place on Junior Jay's Saturdays. Always presented by Boston Pizza. Great time for the kids to come out. There were 9 youngsters introduced with the Blue Jays. They took the third base foul line and stood for both national anthems. And then that young man gets to introduce the players here in the 3rd inning. Devin Travis, the second baseman, batting .304 for the season. Been a terrific rookie season for Travis.
Yeah, and he keeps getting better and better, I think. You watch his at bats, his approach. You know, he's just learning the league. He got off to a great start, then missed about 5 weeks or so with that shoulder injury where he could have gained valuable time and experience.
He missed 36 games with that injury, but he's still among the American League rookies. He's first in doubles with 15, second in extra base hits with 22. He also has 59 hits, which is good for second among rookies in the American League. Terrific young man as well, and I tell you what, he plays a lot better defense than we were told when we first saw him in the spring.
I haven't seen anything wrong. I mean, you see him go after a ball, and he turns the double play as good as anyone.
Tim Beckham, it's short in time. 2 quick outs here in the 3rd. Erasmo Ramirez has allowed just 1 base runner. That was Josh Donaldson, who reached on the air by Longoria.
This is a totally different type of pitcher than the one we saw just a couple of months ago at the beginning of the season. We saw Ramirez when he was with Seattle. You know, he was okay. He have a good game here and there, but right now he is pitching as well as anybody.
There's a line drive that'll drop in front of Brandon Guyer for a hit. Reyes with a big turn, and he'll get back to first. A 2-out single for Reyes. That's the first hit for the Blue Jays, and it comes against a red-hot pitcher.
Last 8 starts, how about 7-1 with a 1.2 earned run average? The batting average under 200 for Ramirez. He's using his changeup more. In fact, that changeup has accounted for a career high 26% of his pitches now. Before, everything seemed to be the same speed with Ramirez. Fastball, breaking ball were the same speed. They're incorporating the changeup just a little bit more. At 45% of his strikeouts have come with the changeup, so they're using it more, and it's become very effective.
Josh Donaldson takes a fastball down and away for a strike. Donaldson, as we mentioned, reached on the air in the first by Evan Longoria. Reyes has been great running the bases this season. He's been caught just one time. He has stolen 14 bases. And obviously in this situation, it's a good time to run.
Yeah, pick your time where you want to run. If you could pick up on one of those change-ups right there, it takes a little long for the ball to get to home plate. That would be the time to do it. Casale's thrown out 25% of the base runners that he has had a chance to get. And now with 2 strikes, now would be a good time to try and get yourself into scoring position.
Reyes not going, and Donaldson strikes out. He kept pounding that fastball to Donaldson, and Erasmo Ramirez now with 3 strikeouts. He has a 1-0 lead.
Game, Canada's women's national baseball team was honored on the field because they're heading off to the Pan Am Games and going to be beginning. And joining me now, Ashley Stevenson and Autumn Mills, 2 members of Team Canada. And first of all, what was that? I'm starting with you, Autumn. What was that feeling like to have that ceremony before the game?
Well, you know, we weren't able to be in the opening ceremony, but being here today at Rogers Center was unbelievable. We took the streetcar here from the village, and when we got on the streetcar, there was a rush of cheers, and it gives you goosebumps almost to see how much support is behind us, and be able to wear the maple leaf on our chest and represent our country. It's just unbelievable.
Ashley, it's amazing how many people have come up to you guys and myself and say, you know, it's slow, it's softball or it's fast pitch, and no, this is baseball, and there's not a lot of opportunities for young girls to start playing in a hardball league. How tough was it growing up when you want to play baseball?
I think most of us actually grew up playing t-ball when we were young, and then a lot of us played softball and made a switch to baseball, or grew up playing with boys, maybe on a brother's team or something like that. So there are not a ton of opportunities. Autumn and I actually play on an all-girls team who plays in the TBA against all boys. So you're right, there's not a ton of opportunity, but it is gaining in momentum. There's Pee Wee Nationals, there's Bantam, there's Midget, and now there's Women. So there are opportunities out there, which is nice to see.
Autumn, tell us when it begins for you guys and who we'll see first.
So we start on Monday, July 20th. Our first game's against Cuba. Most of our games are 7 p.m. because we're the home team, with the exception of Wednesday's 3 p.m. versus Puerto Rico. We've got 4 round-robin games. The top team gets a bye to the finals on Sunday, and hopefully you'll see us there.
All right, listen, I know if you have people out there that want to get tickets to go see them, the games are in Ajax, right, girls?
Yes.
Ladies, women, and good luck and congratulations on everything you guys have accomplished. Back to you, Buck.
Thank you, Barry. James Loney hits a high fly ball. Bautista camps under it, makes the out. That's interesting. The women's Canadian national baseball team playing in the Pan Am Games, as you heard, they start on Monday. They'll play Cuba at 7 o'clock in Ajax, and then on Tuesday they will play Venezuela also at 7 o'clock, and then on Wednesday it's a early start, 3:05. They will play Puerto Rico, and then they play the United States on Thursday at 7 p.m. in that first round robin session. So there'll be 4 games, and then it's pretty interesting. It's a great opportunity to see a new sport.
Yeah.
Women's baseball starting to grow a little bit.
And I think I speak for you. We would like to wish them well. Good luck in the tournament. Baseball is the greatest game.
And you know what? Physically, you can have Jose Altuve. You can have big Frank Howard. You can have 6'11" Randy Johnson. It doesn't make any difference. Anybody can play. And now we want to wish the best to the Canadian women's baseball team. 2 outs, couple of fly balls to right field. Brandon Geyer, the right fielder, struck out against Dickey back in the second. Better fastball right there, 84 miles an hour.
I tell you, he threw more fastballs in that last start against the Chicago White Sox. Had a lot of them fooled. Pitched into the 7th inning.
One's off Martin's glove. 2-1.
There's nothing worse than facing a knuckleball pitcher, looking for the knuckleball, and he throws that fastball about 80, 82 miles an hour right down the middle, and you either pop it up, swing through it, or take it. You start thinking about that.
Yeah, you get all set for that knuckleball floating in there, and then you see that fastball about 83 miles an hour. It looks like 100. Tough to pull the trigger.
Yeah, well, you look like you can just hit it 9 miles and you overswing.
Pulled to third. Donaldson with a nice backhanded grab. Throws a strike to Justin Smoke. 3 up, 3 down. The Rays go in order in the top of the 4th. Blue Jays trail by a run. Jose Bautista will start things off against Erasmo Ramirez.
Season game live or on demand in True HD. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and much more. It also includes a free At-Bat 15 subscription. Watch baseball at home, at the office, or on the go. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. It's one of those days, Buck, where you might want to sit in your backyard and bring the computer or laptop and watch the Jays game.
Absolutely a perfect day. If you can't be here at the ballpark, it's a great way to stay up to date on everything with the Blue Jays. Right now they trail 1-0. They've had just one hit. That was a Reyes 2-out single in the third.
They have to figure out Erasmo Ramirez right now. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. He's using all of them, and he's making quality pitches with his fastball.
Just missed downstairs. It's 3-0 to Bautista. Jose leads the American League with 67 walks. He's second in the major leagues to Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks. Cuts on a 3-0 pitch and lifts it a mile high behind the mound. Beckham, the shortstop, takes charge, and Bautista's retired.
While we have a minute, let's take a look at the scouting report for the starter today for the Tampa Bay Rays. Erasmo Ramirez. There's the fastball again. It's just about 90 miles an hour, but he's keeping it down, and he's getting some nice swing back motion with that fastball. The changeup, again, he's throwing it 26% of the time. He has upped that this year. That is a career high 26% of the time. A slider and a curveball that he'll mix and give you something different to look at, something different to think about. But he's throwing strikes with all four of those pitches, and he's mixing them up.
There's a drive to the alley in left field. It's going to get past Joey Butler and go up against the wall. Encarnacion is headed for second with the one-out double for Encarnacion, double number 15 on the season.
Hit a double in last night's game to the gap in right center field, which was probably his best swing in the last couple of weeks. This time he gets a pitch out front once again. You can see them pounding that ball away from Edwin, and he reaches out and gets that one. Can't get it full extension and get the ball up in the air, but he'll take extra bases. Second hit off of Ramirez this afternoon.
The Blue Jays lead the American League with 181 doubles. Tampa Bay is the stingiest pitching staff as far as giving up doubles. They just don't cough up the 2 base hits. So Justin Smoak now with a chance to tie it up. Smoak struck out against his former teammate in the second. Nine homers and 28 RBIs for the Blue Jays' first baseman. Smoak doing all that damage with just 135 at bats.
Yeah, you multiply that out over a full season, that's a good year. Just multiply everything by 5. If he's had 135 at bats or even 4, yeah, that's a big year. That's 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. That's production.
And with top-notch defense at first, it's quite a combination. And as we mentioned earlier, this was the type of player the Texas Rangers thought they had when they drafted him number 1. Took him in the first round. The Blue Jays made an adjustment with Smoak in spring training. Brooke Jacoby and Eric Owens, the hitting coach, both went to him and said, you know what, you're wrapping your bat a little bit. You're a big guy. Let's see if we can't get some lift and take advantage of your power.
So they flattened out the bat just a little bit. They both thought, both Eric Owens and Brooke Jacoby felt like he was wrapping his bat. So when he started his swing, the arc of the swing was too long, and he just wasn't hitting the ball out in front. So they flattened out his bat, said, let's start hitting some more fly balls. And good things have happened.
He strikes out for a second time against Ramirez. That's 4 strikeouts for the Rays start.
Looked like another changeup, and that's what they've been feeding Justin Smoak a lot of, off-speed pitches. The home run he hit in last night's game was a changeup from Odorizzi, and this time there's another one from Erasmo Ramirez that has Smoak way out in front.
2 outs now. Russell Martin, he grounded out to the pitcher on a little check swing tapper up the third base foul line.
You know, if you're going to throw changeups, you know the first thing you have to have? You have to have a lot of confidence in it. Because it's almost like you're letting up on the pitch and you're not giving maximum effort. A lot of times pitchers are afraid that they're going to get hit hard by that changeup.
Another tapper as Ramirez knocks it down, takes his time, and he'll underhand to end the inning. The Blue Jays leave another base runner in scoring position. We'll move to the 5th. It's a 1-0 lead for Tampa Bay. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zaun.
For $62.97 per month, and that goes for the first 3 months. Find out how. Call 1-888-ROGERS-1 today. Buck.
Thank you very much, Barry. As we head to the top of the 5th inning, it's a 1-0 ball game, and no matter where we are, these two teams always play tight games. Very rarely do you get a blowout with these two teams matching up. Coming into this game, Tampa Bay has held the Blue Jays to a 199 batting average. And you're talking about the best offensive team in baseball. They can really shut you down. So Dickey is back out. He's allowed just 1 run on 2 hits. And the Rays manufactured a run in the 3rd, cashed in on the Tim Beckham leadoff walk. Center fielder Kevin Kiermaier. He's retired on a good play by Travis.
The infield has to shorten up because of that great speed that he has. You can't play deep on the infield, even on the artificial surface, because he runs so well. Kiermaier can bounce that ground ball on the left side and beat it out, so you got to shorten everything up.
This is popped up behind home. Martin quickly takes the mask off and looking straight up into that sun makes the catch. Now he's going to see the white stars of that sun for a while.
Close your eyes for a little bit. Let those pupils dilate just a little bit back to where they should be. It always helps to get that leadoff hitter. It especially helps to keep that guy off the bases, Kiermaier, to lead off an inning.
We have seen catchers in the past wear sunglasses under their catcher's mask. I remember Pudge Rodriguez being the first to do that. But it's rather cumbersome. Then you run the risk of knocking those glasses off when you take your mask off. Tim Beckham, he scored the only run of this game. Beckham was the first overall draft pick in 2008 by the Tampa Bay Rays. Of course, for a long time, the Rays had the worst record in the American League, and they would have a lot of first-round picks. They hit on David Price for sure.
And Evan Longoria. I think he was 3rd overall. But they had a lot of #1 overall picks because they were so bad for so long, and they hit on them. Some of them they didn't.
Delman Young, Tim Beckham, and David Price were all first overall picks of Tampa Bay, and they all turned out to be good major league players. Tim Beckham has taken a little bit longer to develop, but then again, we mentioned he's just 25 years old. 1-2. Popped into the seats.
Yeah, you have to take advantage of those first overall picks. You hope that there are franchise players available. Washington Nationals took advantage of having the first overall pick 2 years in a row. They got 2 franchise players, Bryce Harper and Steven Strasburg.
That's going to be trouble down the left field line. Carrera's going to have to play it off the wall. Beckham is headed for second. Carrera bobbles it a bit, but that might not have made any difference. It looked like it was going to be a double all the way for Tim Beckham. That's his second double of the season. Comes with 1 out here in the 5th.
Walked his first time up, scored the game's only run. Another knuckleball. This time it floats over the middle part of the plate. When you get that ball down, it stays up, and he hammers it into the corner in left field for extra bases.
Beckham's hit well against the Blue Jays this season. We mentioned coming into this game, he's 8 for 21 with a pair of home runs and 7 ribbies. Now he has added a double to his season resume. Kurt Casale with an 2-0 count.
They're going to have to keep that runner close at third base also. Don't let him get too big of a lead. You can see Devin Travis jockeying back and forth.
2-1 now to the Rays catcher. Yeah, Travis is going to stay close to second base to keep an eye on Tim Beckham. Dickey will do the same. That's fouled off Russell Martin. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both Martin and Chris Guccione not really sure where that foul ball went. Went into Blue Jays dugout, and they were looking around the dirt home plate. Where's that ball?
Already been given to a fan.
Full count. John Jaso is on deck. He's got the RBI in this game. He had a ground rule double in the 3rd that drove home Tim Beckham. There's a lazy fly ball into center. Pilar is there. 2 down. So here comes John Jaso. Martin and Dickey having a chat, I'm sure, about Jaso.
Yeah, you've got first base open and a right-handed young player on deck. They've already handled Butler twice today, a fly ball and a strikeout. So I'm sure Russell Martin goes out there just to talk to his pitcher and say, hey, what do you want to do here? You want to pitch around this guy and take your chances with the right hand, or do you want to go right after him?
John Jaso, the veteran, missed 83 games because of a wrist contusion. He got hit by a pitch. He has an unorthodox batting stance, and you'll see different starting positions around baseball, but watch how he puts his right leg almost behind his left leg as he gets set up. That's as unusual a setup as you will see in baseball.
You know, you want to get a good base to go from. Look at that. You better not get pushed. You're going to fall over. You're going to lose your balance. But he uses it as a starting point. You can see he really loads up on that back foot, that back leg, and really dives into the baseball.
There's a base hit into center. Beckham, for some reason, looked over his shoulder to see where the ball was, and it's going to cost him. Beckham is tagged out. No reason at all to turn around and look at where the ball is hit. There are 2 outs. And that cost him about 5 feet. And that leads to being thrown out at home. So Beckham, playing the base coach, is victimized by Kevin Pilar, who throws out a base runner at home. Watch Beckham. He's going to look over his shoulder to see where Pilar is. It's too late to do that. Martin with the tag. It's still a 1-0 game. Manager of the Rays, and as the umpires take a look at that last play of the top half of the inning, Tim Beckham was thrown out at the plate, called out. Kevin Pillar with another terrific throw from the outfield, and Beckham with the slide. Martin puts the tag on him, and Beckham used his right hand to try to touch the base after avoiding that initial tag. But it looks like Martin tags him before he ever got to home plate. And the call is quickly upheld. Jeff Nelson, a home plate umpire, the crew chief, never even hesitated. He heard from New York. They said, yeah, he's out. So the play will stand. Another outfield assist for Kevin Pillar. A lot of injuries, but they've had first half surprises that have allowed them to play well.
How about Erasmo Ramirez and his .363 earned run average? Birds are finding out firsthand how tough he has been. He's been a surprise. Nathan Carnes has taken over with all the injuries that the Tampa Bay Rays have had to their starting rotation. He's had a chance to pitch. He's coming in at a .363 average, and then Joey Butler with his .287 average. He has been a nice find for them to play in the outfield.
Steven Souza Jr. has put up big offensive numbers despite a low batting average. He's got 15 home runs and 33 RBIs.
He's on the disabled list. How about Kevin Jepson in the bullpen? They picked him up from the Los Angeles Angels. He's done a heck of a job pitching in front of McGee and Boxberger.
When you lose pitchers, you just got to reach down and test the depths of your organization, and Tampa Bay is really deep in pitching prospects. So with Pillar throwing out a base runner, it's his 9th assist of the season. Leonis Martin of the Rangers leads the American League with 11. Abisail Garcia of the White Sox has 10. This is going to be a base hit up against the wall. Pillar is headed for second, and Joey Butler will throw it back into the cutoff man. You throw a man out at the plate to save a run, then you get a leadoff double.
How many times have we seen that? The guy who makes the great play to end the inning leads off next inning, and Pillar is going to send a ball down the left field line for extra bases. Good start here in the 5th inning for the Jays as Pillar jumps that ball down the left field line. This was the inning in last night's game where the Blue Jays really turned it on offensively.
Scored 5 runs in the 5th inning, and it all started with a base hit, sacrifice bunt. Might be the same formula right here with Ezequiel Carrera at the plate.
Tampa Bay certainly thinks he's bunting. They've got the corners in. The shortstop into second base, anticipating a bunt also.
Inside. Herrera pulls the bat back. It's ball one.
First rule of thumb, if you're sacrificing, get a strike. That pitch pushes Cabrera off the plate.
Carrera has 4 sacrifice bunts. A little too fine with that one. He bunts it foul up the third base line.
You know, all you have to do, excuse me, Buck, as a bunter is just get the ball down right here. In this situation, you got plenty of speed at second base, and Kevin Pillar, who is a good base runner, he'll read it. You've got the turf to slow the ball down, really chews it up. Ball doesn't get to the fielders quickly. Just get the ball down on the ground somewhere. Let Kevin Pillar do the rest.
Way inside is ball 2. Well, ideally, at the bunt has to be to the third base side. You want either the pitcher or Longoria to field it. James Loney, he's crashing in from first base.
You know, that's why I would let him swing away right here. 2-1, nobody out. Look at the infield. James Loney is about 70 feet by the time the pitch is crossing home plate. There's holes all over that infield.
He bunts it foul. Well, that's a great point, especially here at home. It's the 5th inning. A lot of baseball left, and with a 2-1 count, turn him loose.
Turn him loose. Play for the big inning. If he pops it up, I still like my chances with Devin Travis and Jose Reyes coming up.
Yeah, the only thing you want to avoid is that line drive double play right at the first baseman, but if he's in that close, he's going to have to react very quickly. So now it's 2-2 to Carrera. He pulls it on the ground, gets the job done. Well done by Carrera. 1 out, man at third. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jim Hickey is out to talk to Ramirez, and Hickey, he really leaves nothing to chance. Whenever there's a pivotal point of a ball game, he'll come out and remind his pitcher of a plan of attack against a particular batter, how they're going to defend them, what they're going to do with the infield. And now he's talking to Casale as well, the catcher. Okay, if we miss with the first pitch, going to throw him a breaking ball. There's Geltz loosening up. He pitched in last night's game. Through an inning, through just 14 pitches. So he's cranking it up down in the Rays pen. But I like the way Hickey goes out there and he takes all of the doubt out of the battery's minds. Pitcher and catcher, they're freed up. Pitching coach just came out and told him what to do.
He had a definite idea that he wanted to get across to both the pitcher and the catcher. Right there.
Travis pops up the first pitch. It's playable for Loney. He's in foul territory. Stays with it, and it goes off his glove. He was over the railing into the seating area. So if there was contact with a fan, it's fair game.
That ball faded on him just a little bit. He just didn't get to the seats and stay underneath that ball. You can see he's still moving as he reaches up for that ball. It hits in the glove and then out.
You can see Loney's reaction is to point as if a fan obstructed him. That wasn't the case. Travis pokes it down to right field. A fair ball. Pillar's in to score, and Travis is headed for second. Devin Travis has tied it up with an RBI double.
You know, you have to take advantage of mistakes when the opposition gives it to you. That pop-up by Devin Travis looked like it was playable, and a sure-handed first baseman misses it. The exact next pitch rifled down to right field for extra bases for Travis. Slider down and away, and this is why he's going to be a good hitter. He's got plate coverage. He can handle that ball away from him, and he scores him with that double to right field.
Travis, with that base hit, has extended his hit streak to 7 straight. And now they're going to appeal at first base. It appears as though they think that Travis might have missed first base. Loney is camped out at the bag at first. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to appeal that Travis missed first, and Laz Diaz, the second base umpire, made the call safe.
Well, you be the judge right here. He's thinking double all the way. Deva hits right on the inside corner of that bag.
For Travis, that's his 16th double. It's the 3rd double the Blue Jays have hit this afternoon. Reyes pops it up. Longoria into foul ground. 2 down. Once again, and this has been the case all season long, the bottom of the order coming through for the Blue Jays. Kevin Cash has made the call to the bullpen with Josh Donaldson, the scheduled batter. Erasmo Ramirez will be out of this game. Cash not wanting Ramirez to face Donaldson for a 3rd time this afternoon. Steve Geltz pitched an inning here last night. He's into the game with a runner at second and 2 down. Into the game with 2 outs is Steve Geltz. He pitched an inning in last night's game. He is on for the 43rd time of the season for Tampa Bay.
Geltz has good stuff. You can see the numbers all the way around. Righty's hitting 143. Lefty's just 197. A whip under 1. He's averaging a strikeout an inning. He does it with a fastball, slider, and a split. He'll use that split against the left-handers a little bit more often than he does against the right-handers. We have 44 strikeouts and just 16 base on balls.
Erasmo Ramirez out of the game after just 65 pitches. He gives up a run on 4 hits. The runner at second, Travis, is his responsibility. Josh Donaldson 0 for 2 so far. Donaldson drove a ball to deep right center last night against Geltz. It was an extra base hit all the way, except Kevin Kiermaier pulled it off the wall. Terrific catch by the center fielder. Two and 0.
Boy, now you can hone in on one pitch right here off of Geltz and try and drive the ball out of the ballpark. Josh has been good with runners in scoring position this year. He has been powerful. He's been productive. He's been hitting the ball all over the place. And in last night's game, this is his home run. Number 22 on the year, and he takes the ball the other way. He doesn't have to pull the ball to knock it out of the ballpark. Takes that one the other way. Just enhancing his numbers here at Rogers Center this year.
15 home runs at home for Donaldson. He pops this one in the air. Brandon Geyer circles around, gets underneath it, makes the catch. Steve Geltz comes in, put out the fire. But it's a 1-1 game as we head to the 6th, and here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew, brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products.
Series, it continues with the Iowa Corn Indy 300. Catch all the action live tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sportsnet 1. Meanwhile, we have a look at the big comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone. Today, we welcome guests of TD. Great day to enjoy some baseball, and tonight, some IndyCar action on Sportsnet 1. Buck?
Lots going on in the sports world. Also, a lot more baseball coming up a little later on. You'll see the Dodgers and the Nationals. 1-1 ball game as we head to the 6th. Joey Butler will lead things off against R.A. Dickey. Dickey has given up just a run on 4 hits. Same for the Blue Jays. They've scored 1 run on 4 hits. They've both committed an error. Both errors coming in the first inning.
Tampa Bay has been very patient this afternoon against R.A., really working him over.
Little tapper out in front of home. Dickey throws in time to retire Joey Butler. Let's check in again with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update for us. And I don't think John Sterling, the Yankees radio voice, is going, Robbie Cano, don't you know?
You know, why not?
I don't think he would say that when he's wearing a Mariners uniform.
He did it for 9 seasons.
2 home runs for Robinson Cano. That's good news for the Blue Jays as the Yankees are trailing. Blue Jays and Rays are tied 4.5 games behind the front-running New York Yankees for 2nd place. Baltimore, the Orioles have lost 3 in a row. The Red Sox have lost 2 in a row. And the Orioles have lost 8 of their last 10.
Do you get the sense right now as you see Aaron Loop up and starting to get loose that the pennant races are starting to come into focus, and it's summertime, it's warm, it's baseball has the focus right now after the All-Star break?
Yeah, I think everybody's closing in near that 100-game plateau, and obviously the teams have identified their personalities. You know what you got now. Some of the teams that lost players to injuries are getting those players back. Everybody's starting to get whole again. Matt Holliday just came back from a quad injury for the Cardinals, and Dickey strikes out Longoria. 2 down.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Says James Loney has flied out twice against Dickey. If you really break this game down, Tampa Bay probably should have a 2-0 lead. Loney could make a play on a pop-up off the bat of Devin Travis, and Travis on the next pitch would deliver an RBI double. And then Tim Beckham, running from second base with 2 outs, turned around to look at Kevin Pillar, and he was thrown out at the plate.
On a bang-bang play at home plate. So Tampa Bay should have had a run there and could have stopped the run if they could have squeezed that foul ball off the bat of Devin Travis. But the Blue Jays will take it, and that's the beauty of a pennant race right there. You just never know what's going to happen.
Jose Bautista said it when he spoke to the media yesterday about the Blue Jays need to play tighter defense. Don't make mistakes. He said everybody's been focused on our pitching, but if we played better defense, our pitching would not feel the impact so much. 2-2, 2 outs. Lifted in the air again. Long run for Donaldson and Carrera. And Carrera can't get there. Just beyond his reach, and it bounces over the wall out of play. But that's true, and Russell Martin echoed those same thoughts right at the end of the first half when he said we haven't played well. We need to play better defense, and these are plays like this. If you make it, you end the inning and get Dickey back in the dugout.
And you're hitting right now instead of having to finish off this inning. I can't agree more with Jose Bautista. You have to play better defense. You can't keep beating yourself.
And how many times have we seen it where the Blue Jays will fall behind early, storm back with a big inning, and then watch it flitter away with a poor play in the field. Loney grounds out to second, and the inning. R.A. Dickey, a clean inning in the 6th. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It's a 1-1 game. Bautista will lead things off when we come back.
Like me, you realize you do not have the skill. Why not check out Blue Jays Fantasy Camp? It goes from November 15th to the 20th in Dunedin, Florida. Join Roberto Alomar, George Bell, Jesse Barfield, and many more for the ultimate Major League experience. Your package includes airfare, hotel, meals, uniform, and 4 days of baseball. Spots are limited. Go to bluejays.com/fantasy camp for more. Buck, I really hope that you and Tabby can start a campaign. Send Barry to Fantasy Camp.
Barry, it'd take probably 3 or 4 weeks to really get you straightened out before we can start that fantasy camp, but I'm in.
I could catch a pop fly maybe when that's done.
I doubt it. There's just not enough time to get you in shape, big guy.
Hey, Barry, I'll do what I can to get you there, pal.
Appreciate that, Buck.
Hey, and if you do, I'll get you on my team.
There you go. I've got my glove. I'm ready to go.
Absolutely.
You can be the ball boy.
Thanks.
Jose Bautista in this 1-1 tie. Steve Geltz came into the game to retire Josh Donaldson with 2 outs to end the 5th. Oh, there it goes! Get out of here, ball! Way back and down! Jose Bautista with the home run. His 18th of the season, and that's his 300th RBI here at Rogers Center.
And it is a big one for the Blue Jays. This is the recipe that they had in yesterday's ball game. Home runs by Donaldson and Smoke really opened up that ball game. Bautista gets number 18 with 1 swing of the bat. Looked like it ended up in the 3rd deck here. Steve Geltz doesn't give up many home runs. He had only given up 4 home runs all season long out of that bullpen, but a high fastball, and Bautista connects.
No doubt about that. Bautista knew it as soon as he touched it off. For Jose, RBI number 61. A high booming home run to the 4th deck up there, way back. Popped up down the left field line. Longoria giving chase. Beckham is there, and nobody's going to make the play. Joey Butler, the left fielder, came in at the last moment and banged into Longoria, and the ball lands safely. Another opportunity wasted by Tampa Bay.
Yeah, lost. Give the Blue Jays an extra swing right here, a home run here. Butler was playing deep, and that's his ball all the way. The infielders, they've got their back to the infield. They're trying to find the baseball. He's coming in. It's a much easier play. He's got to call off the infielders and take charge of that ball and make the out.
The Rays not taking advantage of some opportunities defensively have contributed to this 2-1 score.
It's uncharacteristic of the Rays. They just don't beat themselves very often.
Edwin Encarnacion doubled in the 4th. Hot shot right to Beckham on 1 hop. 1 down. Bautista, this is his 18th home run of the season.
He's hit a few of those. He knows what those feel like. He could sit there and admire that one.
Bautista, excuse me, Pat, has hit 17 or more home runs by the All-Star break for 6 straight seasons. And he's in a pretty exclusive club in that regard. He's the lone active player to accomplish that, hitting 17 or more home runs by the All-Star break for 6 straight seasons. He is tied with Carlos Delgado and Rafael Palmeiro at 6. Cecil Fielder and Mo Vaughn had 7 such years. Mickey Mantle had 9. And Alex Rodriguez, the leader of the pack, he did it 12 times. Bautista, truly one of the great home run hitters that we have seen.
Those are some heavy, heavy names that you just threw out there. A-Rod, Mickey Mantle, Cecil, Mo Vaughn, Carlos Delgado, and Palmeiro. And Jose now joins that group, 6 straight.
Delgado's name on the level of excellence here at Rogers Center. And when you talk about RBIs here at Rogers Center for Bautista, that's his 300th RBI here at Rogers Center. Smoke bounces it to Loney. 2 down. Carlos Delgado is the all-time leader in RBIs at Rogers Center, followed by Vernon Wells and Joe Carter, and then Bautista is 4th now.
Blue Jays have been blessed over the years with some great hitters, home run hitters, big time hitters. Bautista, you can put him right up there with all of them.
2-time home run champ. He has a 50 home run season to his credit. Russell Martin has grounded out twice to the pitcher. R.A. Dickey is the pitcher of record, and he might be done.
Right around 100 pitches. You see Aaron Loup still warming up. I think you're right. He might be finished.
Dickey's thrown 103 pitches through 6 innings. He's allowed just 1 run on 4 hits. Another good outing by R.A. Dickey. Some fine defensive plays behind him. There's a deep fly ball to center. Kiermaier is back in the shadow of the roof and makes the catch. But once again, the long ball provides the difference. Aaron Loup coming out of the bullpen. Jose Bautista leading off the bottom of the 6th with a long home run to left. His 18th. The Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead. Civic, Canada's best-selling car 17 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, it just happened. Jose Bautista, for the 18th time this season, breaks the tie with his home run. 300th RBI, his 24th home run in his career versus the Tampa Bay Rays, and when he touches home plate, he sets another milestone.
He also has scored 300 runs here at Rogers Center. He has knocked in 300 and scored 300. New pitcher into the game is the lefty, Aaron Loup.
R.A. Dickey indeed is finished for the afternoon. Loup comes out of the bullpen. 43rd time Aaron has been into a ball game. He will get his chance against the Tampa Bay Rays. He has had success against the Rays in his career.
Second baseman Logan Forsythe, then Brandon Geyer and Kevin Kiermaier for Tampa Bay in the 7th. Changeup is fouled off. 0-2. Loup making his 8th appearance in the month of July. He's pitched a total of 4 1/3.
You know, I had a chance to talk with Aaron in Chicago, and I was asking him about his season. He feels like he's throwing the ball as well as he ever has in his career. It's just unfortunate, a lot of balls off the end of the bat. They're finding holes or plays not made behind him, but he feels like his fastball's as good as it's ever been. He feels like his changeup and slider have been as good as it has ever been.
Well, you made the point of suggesting Loup really worked hard to get himself in great shape. And obviously, when you're physically in top form, you're going to be more consistent in your ability to perform. That's a pretty good pitch, but just off the plate inside.
You know, he said he wasn't, he wasn't a guy who wasn't in shape. It just seems to be working a little bit more. He said, I'd always do some shoulder exercises, try and keep that shoulder strong.
That's off the end of the bat. Travis at second throws Logan Forsythe out.
But now he's doing a few more things just to keep in better shape and to keep stronger, maintain that strength throughout the season. His fastball shows it. He's maintaining at 93 miles an hour.
Well, Mark Burley is kind of the police dog in that regard. He pushes all the pitchers to get in that weight room and continue to work. You know, he get away from spring training. Sometimes you forget about taking care of yourself physically, but Burley is a guy that encourages all the young pitchers to get in there.
You know, and Aaron says that. He says Mark has been a positive influence on me. He says I try to get in there each series to get in there and do something to keep my strength over the fastball and everything else.
Well, when it comes to pitching and Mark Burley speaks, you're a fool if you don't listen. And then Geyer fouls it back, loops ahead 0-2. Another good ball game between these two East rivals. 2-1. Blue Jays have the lead. The Blue Jays won last night. It was just their 4th win in 11 games against Tampa Bay. As we mentioned earlier, they're trying to win back-to-back games for the first time since June 24th and 26th. That ball is drilled to left field. Carrera looks up, and this ball is gone. Brandon Geyer has tied it up. That's his 4th home run of the season. And just like that, it's a 2-2 game, tied up again.
You know, it looked like he had the changeup down in a way that he thought he had him strike 3. And then tried to slip the fastball by it. How many times have we seen him try and power that fastball on the inner half to the right-handers, but he just missed his spot. Left it out over the plate. And Geyer hammers that ball to left field.
Geyer got the start in right this afternoon against R.A. Dickey. That's his 2nd hit in 4 at-bats against Aaron Luke. The home run ties it. That's just the 80th home run the Rays have hit this season compared to the Blue Jays. They've hit 118 with Bautista going deep this afternoon.
I'll tell you, these teams, they're so evenly matched. So evenly matched that the games, when they go head-to-head, you end up having great games.
The Rays are the only team in the American League East that the Blue Jays have a losing record against. Everybody else they have beaten.
Even the scoreboard's the same. Check it out. 251 to 251. And it seems like that's like that all the time when these two teams get together.
Kiermaier called out on strikes. The fastball down and away gets him. So R.A. Dickey will be saddled with another no decision. He pitched well again this afternoon, going 6 innings. He allowed just 1 run on 4 hits and walked a batter, and that's the only run that came around to score. It was a leadoff walk to Tim Beckham in the 3rd. So Loop is out of the ball game. Ryan Tepera will come in with 2 outs to face Tim Beckham, getting an update from Derek Shelton, the hitting coach. Tepera making his 17th appearance of the season. He's done a decent job for the Blue Jays since going back and forth between Buffalo and the big leagues.
Yeah, he has only walked 2 batters all season long. He's got 13 strikeout. Last work on the 10th. That was in that Royals series. Threw an inning, gave up a hit. That was the home run to Salvador Perez. But for the most part, he has done a good job this year. Sinker, slider, splitter. As he's going to try and finish off the 7th inning here for the Blue Jays.
Loop goes 2/3 of an inning. He's charged with the home run off the bat of Brandon Guyer. He struck out a batter.
Tim Beckham's going to be hunting fastball first pitch right here.
First pitch fastball on the corner. Tough pitch to swing at if you're Beckham. Beckham walked and scored in the 3rd. Double Dan was thrown out at the plate to end the 5th. Good sinker. Hits the ground ball to Reyes. Tepera gets out of the 7th, but the Rays have tied it up. It's a 2-2 game. The home run by Brandon Guyer has evened the score.
Stamkos. And speaking of, tomorrow winter will be coming to the Rogers Center. Not the type of winter where Stamkos can put on the skates, but we will be turning tomorrow the ballpark into a winter wonderland. It's the Jays and the Rays wrapping up this series at 107, and the first 20,000 fans will receive a pair of Blue Jays winter mittens. Go to BlueJays.com for more details. I think, guys, we should have a fan day or an air conditioner day or an umbrella day would be really nice on a wonderful sunny day like today, although the mittens could come in handy once we do actually hit winter.
You could use an umbrella today, eh, Barry?
Think so, yeah.
This is Kevin Jebsen, the hard-throwing right-hander who makes his 43rd appearance. Jebsen is the 3rd pitcher to work for the Rays this afternoon.
That breaks a tie for 2nd in relief appearances in the American League. 43 appearances now. Jebsen, what a pickup he has been for the Tampa Bay Rays. Hard-throwing right-hander with a good breaking ball.
Misses with that first pitch to Kevin Pillar. Pillar had a leadoff double in the 5th, came around to score on Devin Travis's RBI double. Popped up, and that's going to reach the seats, out of play. Jebsen came to the Rays from the Angels. He was a farmhand, came up, did a nice job for the Angels, but they have a tendency to develop pretty good arms in their bullpen, and he was expendable. Been a great addition to this Rays bullpen.
It's a pretty astute trade, I think, for the Tampa Bay Rays. Matt Joyce Went over to the Angels. The piece that the Angels, I guess they felt they didn't need another right-hander in their bullpen, but he fits nicely with the Rays.
Well, the Rays wrapped up the first half of the season by sweeping the Astros at home. And their bullpen was terrific against Houston. They allowed no runs on 4 hits in 10 1/3 innings against the Astros in the 3-game series. They really slammed the door on Houston.
And Jepsen pitched in all 3 of those games.
To give you an idea how dominant the pitching was in that series, the Rays swept the 3-game series. They held the Astros to 15 hits and 4 runs in 3 games. 3-2 pitch to Pilar. Lifted into center. Kiermaier coming in. He's there and makes the catch. To complete the 3-game sweep, the interesting part was the Rays had scored just 10 runs on 16 hits themselves and swept the 3 games. And that's the fewest hits they had to sweep a 3-game series in franchise history. And they beat Dallas Keuchel, Colin McHugh, and Lance McCullers in that 3-game series. They've been a real roller coaster team up and down. Tampa Bay.
They've had a stretch where they lost something like 11 out of 12. They also had a stretch where they won something like that. I mean, they have been very inconsistent.
They were 14-4 to go 10 over 500, and then they went 3-15 to fall 2 games under. It's been a real up and down trip. This is Ezequiel Carrera. He's 0 for 2. He takes a strike. 0-2 now for Kevin Jepsen. 2-2 ball game. Bautista with a home run leading off the 6th gave the Blue Jays a 2-1 lead, and then Brandon Guyer in the top of the 7th tied it up with a solo shot to left. The Guyer home run came off of Aaron Loop. It was the 5th home run Loop has given up this season. That ties his career high. And they've all been to right-handed hitters. Crowd trying to rally the home troops. Bouncing ball to second. Forsythe has it. 2 down.
Save during the plumbing, cooling, and electrical expert sale. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Couldn't ask for a better day on this Saturday afternoon in southern Ontario. Lake Ontario crowded with all sorts of boating activities. Devin Travis had an opposite field double his last time up. That drove home Kevin Pilar with the first Blue Jays run. That tied it up in the bottom of the 5th. This is popped up right side of the diamond. Forsythe, the second baseman, takes charge and makes the catch. Kevin Jepsen retires the side in order. We head to the 8th. 2-2 ball game.
Battleground. It goes tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern. Only available on the WWE Network. $11.99 per month. Visit WWE.com/Canada. Buck.
Thank you, Barry. Folks having a good afternoon up on the Edgewalk high above the Rogers Center on CN Tower.
Having a good time?
Oh, I think they are, Pat.
Having a scary time.
Of course, we got a chance to do that a couple of years ago, and it was all for a good cause for Jay's Care Foundation, but thank you very much. I don't think I'll do it again. 2-2 ball game. We are in the 8th. Now it's a battle of the bullpens. Brian Chapera came in to record the final out of the 7th. He got Tim Beckham to ground out to short. Kurt Casale, the catcher, batting 9th. There's a high fly ball to left. Carrera looking up. This ball is going to go. Home run for Casale. His second home run of the season has given the Rays a 3-2 lead here in the 8th.
Not really known as a home run type of hitter. It just looked like it was a slider that was hung over the middle of the plate. And when you throw a breaking ball like that, it really speeds up the bat, and you catch the ball out in front as opposed to catching it behind you. You see that slider just spinning up there, and Casale catches it out in front. It looked like it was just going to be a fly ball, but it kept carrying to left field. Carries all the way into the bullpen for his second home run.
The Rays have out-homered the Blue Jays here this afternoon and have taken a 3-2 lead. Casale with just his 4th RBI of the season. Jaso lifts a fly ball into left center. Carrera makes the catch. Now Joey Butler will step in with 1 out. Butler, the left fielder, has gone 0 for 3 to this point. Butler got off to a terrific start, but lately things have slowed down for him. Coming into this game, he was 4 for his last 41 over a span of 15 games.
That's called video. They didn't know young Joey Butler at the beginning of the season. Now they're throwing him first pitch breaking balls, and he's swinging over the top of them.
1-2. Breaking ball pulled in the hole deep and short. Reyes throws quickly, but not in time. Butler has an infield single. Once that ball got past Donaldson, it wasn't hit that hard, and Reyes had to unload in a hurry. Couldn't get much on the throw.
Yeah, not much that Jose could do with that one. And right off the end of the bat, he just hits it in a perfect spot. And even though he's running from the right-hand batter's box, it's a little bit further. There's no chance for Reyes to throw him out. It'll be an infield hit.
One out. Evan Longoria. 0 for 3 so far. Longoria has a 9-game hit streak against the Blue Jays on the line. He reached on an error in the first and has struck out twice, both those strikeouts coming against Dickey. Right back to Tepera. He makes a good throw to second for a walk, turns it into an inning-ending double play. But the Rays have taken the lead. Kurt Casale with his second home run of the season. It's 3-2 Tampa Bay. Now time for Blue Jays Central Updaters, Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. pitcher in for the Rays is Brad Boxberger. He is their closer coming in here in the 8th inning to face the Blue Jays.
I think that has to do with all the right-handed batters that the Blue Jays are going to send to the batter's box this inning. Boxberger's 23 for 25 in save opportunities. He's gotten the bulk of the saves while Jake McGee's been on the DL. McGee looks like might be the guy to close this one out. Boxberger, very good fastball, excellent changeup. He has had his problems though against the Blue Jays in his career. He's pitched 12 games and he's given up 15 hits in 9 1/3 innings for a .375 batting average. He will get the top of the lineup in Jose Reyes.
Boxberger has done a better job against the Blue Jays this season. This is his 6th game against the Blue Jays. He is 4 for 4 in save opportunities and allowed just 2 hits to the Blue Jays over 5 innings. So it's the top of the order. This is where the Blue Jays have to get it done. Reyes, Donaldson, and Bautista. Boxberger made the All-Star team. He was selected by the American League manager Ned Yost. He did not pitch in the game, but he's coming off a strong finish in the first half. He saved all 3 games against Houston in that sweep.
He will come at you with a good fastball, but then really pulls a string with that changeup. It's one of the best changeups in baseball.
Reyes takes a low strike. He thought that was down. There's Guccione. Called it a strike. Is now 1-2. Reyes singles into center field. That'll start the 8th for the Blue Jays. Second hit of the afternoon for the Blue Jays leadoff man.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
$41,583 on hand at Rogers Center this Saturday afternoon. Looking for the Blue Jays to come back here in the 8th. Donaldson bends back from an inside heater. Josh is 0 for 3 so far. He has reached on an air, struck out, and popped out. You let Reyes loose here?
No, I'm not going to let him steal right here. You got the big boys coming up. One swing of the bat to put the Blue Jays back out in front. Even though he's got an outstanding stolen base percentage, I'm going to nail him over at first base.
Donaldson rips it to Longoria. Second for 1, back to first, double play. The defense comes up big for Tampa Bay here in the 8th. Longoria was guarding the line and turns the hot shot off the bat of Donaldson into a double play.
You know, that's exactly why you put him on the line right there, so he takes away all doubles. The Gold Glover smoothly catches that ball, throws a strike to the second baseman, and around the horn they go for a big double play.
Jose Bautista homered leading off the 6th in his last at bat. Bautista is 2 for 3 against Boxberger. Ball and a strike to the Blue Jays slugger. He hits Bautista to put him aboard. It comes with 2 outs.
Obviously didn't mean to do that. Looked like an off-speed pitch. Maybe his changeup that got away from him. That's exactly what it is. You can see the circle change in his fingers. The grip, he loses the grip of that one and hits Bautista in the back. And now that sends Encarnacion to the plate. And again, with the threat of a home run, the Blue Jays are never out of any game.
Encarnacion 1 for 3 with a double. Boxberger just a courtesy toss to first.
And Edwin has good numbers against Boxberger in his career.
He is 3 for 6 with a home run. The Rays outfield playing no doubles. They are backed up. Hopeful of cutting off anything hit into the alley to keep Bautista from scoring from first with 2 outs. They call the balk and everybody got involved. Bautista broke from first. Loney said there he goes. Casale said step off, and Boxberger committed the balk.
Yeah, it all started with Jose bluffing from first base. He took 2, maybe 3 steps off of the bag. Watch him at first base. As Boxberger comes sets, Bautista bluffs. And the call then is step off. The pitcher's got to step off, and he doesn't. He starts to deliver that ball home. A little bit of a flinch right there, and Bautista can get into scoring position.
How does this change the strategy for Tampa Bay with Encarnacion hitting? You can see Kevin Cash studying the matchup sheet. First base is open with Encarnacion at the plate. With Smoke on deck, he's a switch hitter. He has struck out twice. He's 0 for 3 this afternoon. You wouldn't think Encarnacion's going to get much to hit here.
Pick the guy you want to face. Do you want Encarnacion, or do you think you have a better chance at Justin Smoke?
3-0. You've got to let him hit, don't you?
Yes. You know that he's got the green light right here, that if he throws him a cookie, a fastball right there, he can put the Blue Jays in the lead.
Four pitch walk, pitching around him. Didn't want anything to do with Double E. So Jim Hickey, we have seen this throughout the season series between these two clubs. When there's a big at bat on the line, he comes to the mound to sort things out for the pitcher.
And he goes right to the pitcher. You can see him right now getting right into the face of his pitcher Boxberger, and now his catcher Casale said, okay, this is what we want to do right here. You got Smoke at the plate. They've been throwing him a lot of off-speed pitches, a lot of change-ups, a lot of splitters, a lot of breaking balls, a lot of off-speed pitches as Danny Valencia has come in now to pinch run for Edwin. So they just want to reiterate what they want to do here against Justin Smoke, the big part of this game right here.
So Encarnacion will leave. He finishes up 1 for 3 with a walk, had a double. Danny Valencia takes over as the pinch runner at first. Justin Smoke 0 for 3 to this point. Another changeup. Smoke lays off.
He homered on the change last night from Jake Odorizzi, and that's all he has gotten all afternoon from Ramirez, Geltz, and now Boxberger. Something off speed.
Ground ball. Forsythe from the outfield throws the first, and Boxberger gets out of it. The Blue Jays strand a pair of base runners. Will go to the 9th. It's a 1-run lead for Tampa Bay. Brett Cecil into the game.
Jays have their hands full tomorrow as this series wraps up, as the Blue Jays will have to face this man, Chris Archer, going up against Marco Estrada. The game begins at 12:30 with Blue Jays Central, followed by the first pitch. Come out to the ballpark for watch us here on Sportsnet. It's the Blue Jays and the Rays. Buck?
Barry, Chris Archer is at 9-6 for the Saints with a 2.74 earned run average. He'll go up against Marco Estrada, 6-5 with a 3.52 ERA. New pitcher into the ball game for the Blue Jays is Brett Cecil.
For the 34th time this season, Brett Cecil takes over. He's 2-4 with a 4.66 earned run average. He has actually pitched better against right-handers this year. You can see righties are hitting 203 versus 355 versus the left-handers. Still a nice 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio this season. 33 strikeouts and 11 walks, and he gets James Loney to lead off the ninth inning.
Loney is 0 for 3 so far in this ball game. Loney, Forsythe, and Geyer, the scheduled batters. Loney goes after the first pitch and lifts a fly ball to left. Carrera makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the ninth.
That's what you want to see. Come out on that bullpen throwing strikes and get that first batter.
Now it'll be Logan Forsythe batting. He had an infield single in his first at bat back in the second. Goes after the first pitch and drives it into the alley in left center, and that's going to get down and bounce out of play over the wall for a ground rule double. His second hit of the afternoon.
First hit off of Brett Cecil in his career, and I think the Blue Jays caught a break right there. If that ball stays in the ballpark, that's a four-seam fastball from Brett right over the middle of the plate. If that stays in the ballpark, hits up against that wall and stays in. Forsythe, who was hustling out of the box, was thinking about 3, but watch it hit right off the top of the wall and out of play for a ground rule double.
Brandon Geyer. He bunts at it and bunts it fair. Donaldson bare hands it and throws it out. Oh, a terrific play once again by Josh Donaldson. He's fearless when he goes after those balls barehanded. You don't know what kind of spin they're going to have on him, and he gloves it or bare hands it and makes a good throw.
Some serious English on that ball, but he's got big hands and he just corrals that ball and throws a strike. Geyer can't get out of the box because he bunts it. The ball was right at him. So that gives Donaldson a couple more seconds to be able to figure out where the ball is. Watch him come charging, hard charging, barehanded, throw a strike to record the out.
Kevin Kiermaier waves at that first pitch breaking ball. Kiermaier has held his own against lefty pitching this year, coming into this game batting .259. .246 against right-handers. That's a big improvement from what we've seen in the past. Two outs. Cecil into the ball game here in the ninth. Looking ahead to the bottom half of the ninth, it's Martin, Pilar, and Carrera, the scheduled batters for the Blue Jays. Kiermaier's late on that heater.
Brett Cecil's got a good fastball. That's 94 combined with a good overhand curveball. Should make things really tough on the left-handers.
Another fastball in the same spot, fouled back. Cecil should be able to snap off a curveball now and end this inning.
He's got a good one, and he uses it a lot in this situation right here.
There it is. Strike 3 called to Kevin Kiermaier. He couldn't pull the trigger on that hook. Cecil gives up a double. but leaves him at third. Russell Martin will lead things off, followed by Kevin Pillar and then Carrera. Blue Jays down by a run. Jake McGee into the game. And 41,853 at 32,908 in last night's game. Another great crowd on hand, anxious for a Blue Jays comeback in the bottom of the ninth, and they'll do it against Jake McGee, making his 22nd appearance of the season.
And there are the numbers. It's only 21 games this year because he started the season on the disabled list with an arm injury. No record, a 137 earned run average, 29 strikeouts and just 2 base on balls. 29 of 73 batters faced he has struck out, which is the second highest rate in the American League, and just 2 base on balls. Good fastball, good breaking ball from McGee.
McGee missed 36 games because of off-season elbow surgery. It wasn't Tommy John surgery. He had some his bodies removed from his elbow. It'll be Martin, Pillar, and Carrera, the scheduled batters here in the ninth. McGee jumps ahead with a fastball. This is popped in the air to shallow right field. Brendan Geyer comes in. 1 down here in the ninth. Kevin Pillar doubled in 3 at-bats this afternoon. He scored the first Blue Jay run in the 5th.
Chris Colabello has picked up a bat, and he will pinch hit for Carrera.
McGee can bring it. 97 with the fastball to jump ahead of Pillar.
Yeah, and it's easy too. Nice free and easy motion, and the ball gets on you quickly.
When you look at the overall body of work of the Rays bullpen, it might not really impress you, but boy, you can get down to Jebsen, Boxberger, and McGee, and it's lights out.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Geltz and Gomes are pretty good too. Cedeno, Colomé. There's the one stat that's impressive, I think, when you look at the body of work of this team. They've got 37 saves.
That's Xavier Cedeno just loosening up.
The 37 saves, Buck, number 1. Number 1 in baseball.
Way outside, 2-2. The Rays have 3 runs on 8 hits. The Blue Jays 2 runs on 6 hits. Another pop-up. This is playable. Loney into foul territory. Makes the play. Blue Jays are down to their final out. Chris Colabello will come to the plate. He's batting for Ezequiel Carrera, the left fielder. Colabello having a fine season. .324, 8 homers and 33 RBIs. Colabello as a pinch hitter. This is his first pinch hitting at bat.
Yeah, first time. So get ready for the old number one, the fastball.
The Blue Jays this afternoon 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They've stranded 6. Oh, 2.
You know, why mess around with the breaking ball when you've got a fastball like that, like Jake McGee does? You don't want to get beat with your secondary stuff. Pump those fastballs in there until they prove that they can get on top of it.
He mentioned that with the Casale home run. Capera threw him a slider and sped up his bat. Outside, 1-2. Another 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
99, overthrew that one. Reached back for a little something extra.
I think his arm's okay.
Yeah, I think he's well rested.
Pop straight back out of play. Another homegrown pitcher for the Rays, a 5th-round draft pick in 2004. This should do it. Joey Butler, the left fielder, makes the catch, and the Rays win it. They win it 3-2 to even the series at a game apiece, and the Rays out-homered the Blue Jays today, and that was the difference in the ballgame. Brandon Guyer and Kurt Casale.
And the Blue Jays get another well-pitched game by their staff. They only give up 8 hits and 3 runs, but the offense stymied by the Tampa Bay staff. Another point that good pitching stops good hitting, and the Rays even up this series at 1 apiece.
Good defense by the Rays this afternoon. Big double play by Longoria at third. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon for the series finale. Here's Blue Jays Central, Jamie Campbell and Greg Zong.